You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shabaka going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it means nothing. Nothing about a woman on the day. Man made the car. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy, and man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Okay, greetings, Black family, greetings, and thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase in conjunction with the Front Line Blacc News. I'm your host, Shane Crewman, and this is season 10, episode 38, or tray 8 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase in conjunction with the Front Line Blacc News. Okay, I should be able to hear me now. Okay, Grand Risings. Thank y'all for tuning in to Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase. I'm your host, Shane Crewman, and on this season 10, episode 38 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase, we'll be discussing several topics. The first topic is Trump going to federalize DC? Then we got African Sista. Okay, wait. Then we got African Sista says, African Sista from Cameroon says she's annoyed how immigrants have been treating Black Americans. Oh, wow. When white folks own, they control BET, Suspends, Soul Train, and hip hop award shows indefinitely. Do Black people hate Black people the most? And last but certainly not least, white Simi Valley mob attacks Black teen. So those are the topics. Please join us on StreamYard, YouTube, Front Line Blacc News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Jay Militant's What's Cracking TV with Jay Militant, Kukizi, who does our intro track, and the Church of Black Power, a brother out of Watts, California, who's now in Houston. And also, please support the GoFundMe that Lady Che has set up. And then we got the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to this music. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you think you understand will only confuse you. In all 9 areas of human activity, which are economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, war, and religion, and some say health and nutrition. In all 10 areas of human activity, that's by the great Neely Fuller Jr., RIP to him. He passed away this past February. Then when you're a Black person and are captured by any race soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee, comply, or defend yourself in court. Neely Fuller Jr. as well. And racism, white supremacy is conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. So those are the topics. Shout out to Time. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to Twin. And shout out to Matt 285. How to make sure I hit the like button on both channels. Respect. You're gonna have to go to both channels. So the links to the other channel, Jesse Paris, aka Shane Crewman, is in the description. So you can go there and like that as well. I'm simulcasting on like 5 different platforms right now. So one of them is that page. So that's how you can do that. Thank you, Time. Okay. So first off, I'm gonna start off with my friend's book. My friend already has a new book out called The White Aggression, or The Whiteness of Destruction, The Origins and Consequences of White Aggression by Dr. Maury Tober. So let me put his book up. Just posted this on Twitter not too long ago. So I'm gonna play the clip of the book.
I've seen history hidden right in front of us. I've seen history hidden right in front of us. From ancient civilizations to today's systemic racism, I unmask the origins of aggression. My book, The Whiteness of Destruction, is a call to remember, reclaim, resist. Are you ready to face the truth? I've seen history hidden right in front of us. From ancient civilizations to today's systemic racism, I unmask the origins of aggression. My book, The Whiteness of Destruction, is a call to remember, reclaim, resist. Are you ready to face the truth? I've seen history hidden right in front of us. From ancient civilizations to today's systemic racism, I unmask the origins of aggression.
So that's my boy's book. I'm sorry, it's pinballing. The internet must be acting stupid.
My book, The Whiteness of Destruction, is a call to remember, reclaim, resist. Are you ready to face the truth? I've seen history.
It's a really good book, so definitely get it. It's on Amazon.
From ancient civilizations to today.
That's the book right there. I got my copy, so make sure you get yours. Very good book. It's like an updated version of Chancellor Williams' Destruction of the Black Civilization, John Henrik Clark's book, and Nellie Fuller's book, all wrapped into one. So definitely make sure y'all get that book. All right, so I'm gonna move to the first topic, and that is Trump trying to federalize DC. So Tariq gonna give us an update on that. I like my new setup next to Lady Che. I have a better mic to work with. And this is K Reno. I'm gonna see him later. He's performing live here this evening in Denver. I'm gonna see him perform. But first, let's get to Tariq. It's a picture of one of the Lady Che is. She's here, but she's asleep. So. My computer stopped coming.
Tap in. Much respect to you. Respect to the law. Let me have you guys give me a retweet. Can you do that? Can you give me a real fly retweet, ladies and gentlemen? That would be absolutely spectacular. And while you guys are retweeting,
25.
You know I got to give some shout outs to some of the regulars in here. Got to do that. I got to give a shout out to Mika, FBA Law, Moni Love, Ronnie, Ania Saru, Marak, Michael Ogun, Ty Powell, Briz, Highland, Suntan, Trinity, Juanita, the Black Receipt, Miss Skyline, Grinds TV, Cousin Jerry, and the Tethanator in the building. Round of applause for you all. And Brother McCall, I see Brother McCall in the building. Much respect. Oh, man. Let me get some calls in a minute. You know, I want to talk about this dude. He's trending right now. There was a situation that happened in D.C. with this dude named Edward Korestein, nicknamed Big Balls. I got to discuss this. This is an interesting story. So this guy, Edward Korestein, he's a 19-year-old dude. He worked for, or I don't know if he worked for or still works for Doge. He was a Doge staffer, and he's clicked in with Elon and all those guys and the Trump administration. And some people said the dude was basically a damn internet troll. Some people said he used to post Nazi stuff online. I don't know. I don't know. But something very interesting happened with this big balls guy. And he's worked for a few different places. He's worked for a few interesting places. Um, he worked for other federal agencies, and they said, despite his youth, um, he took on that name, Big Balls, and he just got hired for all these government agencies. It's real interesting. He worked at the Social Security Administration, um, Neuralink, a few places. So out there in DC, the story is he was assaulted um, in an attempted carjacking in DC up there in Logan Circle around 3 a.m. the other day. So they said there was a police report. They said it was Coristine and a woman, and the woman has been identified as his significant other. They were near a vehicle when a group of 10, 10 teenagers, supposed to be black, a group of black teenagers approached them and they started to make comments about the car. Then they said Coristine pushed the woman into the car for her safety and then confronted the group. Then they attacked him and they left him bloody and gave him a concussion. And they said the assault was interrupted when nearby police officers intervened, causing most of the teens to flee. They said two 15-year-olds from Maryland were arrested and charged with unarmed carjacking, and a black iPhone 16 was stolen during the incident. The carjacking task force, they're still trying to investigate. So anyway, this incident prompted Donald Trump to post on his Truth Social. He shared a photo of the bloodied up chorus, and he's threatening to federalize Washington, D.C., citing rampant crime, and he's calling for a harsher prosecution of juvenile offenders. Elon Musk even chimed in on X, claiming that Coristine, was defending a woman from a gang assault. And this is it's not what the police report said. The police report said something different, but that's whatever. But crime data shows that there's a 26% drop in violent crime in DC, so it's not a lot of crime. So a lot of people are questioning this thing. Some people are questioning the validity of this thing, this attack. Allegedly, some people are saying, I saw somebody said that the Coristine guy picked a fight. He was picked a fight with a group of teens, and they just whooped his ass. I don't know. This is fishy. Don't it smell funny to you? It just kind of smells funny. The story smells funny. Again, there's inconsistencies between eyewitness accounts and official reports. Elon Musk said he was stopping a gang assault. The police said the guys made a comment about the car, but it wasn't an assault. I don't know. But people are also looking at the timing and the political exploitation of this. See, this incident happened. It's a highly charged election season. The whole Epstein thing is all up in the air. A lot of people are talking about Epstein. So, wow, this thing pops up, and Trump really quickly used that to push for this federal control of DC narrative and stricter prosecution for juveniles. So a lot of people say this kind of mirrors a pattern of basically weaponizing a lot of anecdotal crime stories to justify broad crackdowns or some kind of federal overreach. Even when the crime data shows that DC crime is really down in DC. It's not high crime. Crime is really down in DC. And the guy's background. This guy was a former Doge staffer. He's kind of known as an online provocateur. He has ties to these pro-Trump circles. So a lot of people are like, man, is this staged? Is this exaggerated to kind of set a narrative? And that whole big balls thing, that's some troll. That sounds like some 4chan shit. And also the sensationalized imagery and the rapid mobilization. A lot of people are like, okay, you got this bloodied photo of him, and got some photo of him looking all bloodied, and it came out immediately with coordinated praise from all the right-wing influencers and all the Doge affiliates. And a lot of people are saying this rapid media push is real convenient, almost like it was pre-planned. So a lot of people are questioning. Some people are like, is this the white Jussie Smollett? Okay. Because people do political stunts. Jussie Smollett did. Why not him? And nobody's questioning this. A lot of people in the main, like immediately with Jussie, people started questioning it. Now I knew it was just the way this shit went down. It just didn't sound right. So if Jussie can pull a political hoax, could this guy do it too?
Yeah, I don't put nothing past these white supremacists.
There's no real independent verification. Only 2 teens were arrested out of a group of 10. And a lot of people say that if this were a real attempted carjacking in a well-trafficked area like Logan Circle, there would be more security footage, right?
Right.
More arrests, more eyewitnesses. Logan Circle in DC. Where is that? Where are my DC people? Where's Logan Circle? Because DC is a real weird shaped city. Where I think I've been in, I don't know my way around, but that name sounds familiar. Where are my DC people? We got any DC people in here? Help me out, my DC people. If you're from DC, can you raise your hand real quick? Just real quick. Let me have you hop on, my DC people, real quick, just to give me a geographic rundown of where's what out there. Where my DC folks? I know somebody ass up in damn DC. Y'all ain't got nothing to do. You got to go work at the damn government job tomorrow. Get your asses up here.
DC, goddamn it.
Raise your hand, somebody
DC,
from
but that's
DC.
still Colorado.
Yeah, all these people in here, and we ain't got no DC people. The hell y'all doing in DC right now? Raise your hand if you or near DC. Somebody. Y'all up eating some mambo sauce? What are you doing? Okay. I'm gonna get some of my DC people up here in a minute. I know we got some DC people in here. Right, y'all not saying nothing. I'm trying to see where the Logan Circle area is. I'm trying to see where that area is. But the thing is,
it's every Monday.
Like I said, the DC crime trends, that kind of contradicts the whole narrative. And all of a sudden, Trump is talking about federalizing Washington, D.C. That's real convenient. Oh, he's going to federalize Washington, D.C. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to federalize the city? So basically, he's talking about reasserting like full federal control over all the local affairs there. See, D.C., it has like a limited home rule that allows it to elect a mayor and a city council. Now, if you federalize it, that means you're going to strip or kind of supersede those powers. And basically, you place control directly under the White House or Congress. You see? And if you federalize the city, you can deploy federal law enforcement or military. You could basically invoke the Insurrection Act or any kind of emergency power to deploy the federal law enforcement, National Guard, or even active duty military to kind of take control over the policing in DC, and you can just bypass local authority altogether. And basically, if you federalize the city, that overrides all of the local laws. So, you know, the federalization will allow the administration to override the local laws on crime, juvenile justice, gun control. You see, and that will be replacement or nullification of local leadership there. You know, the mayor and the city council, they'll just be completely powerless, and they'll be easily replaced by a federally appointed administrator, like a control board or something like that. That will eliminate local policing autonomy. The Metro Police, they would be placed under federal oversight, and their authority will be reduced in favor of DHS, the FBI, U.S. Marshals. And some people say, you know, that'll be like a legal and constitutional crisis. You know, federalizing the capital, that will likely spark a whole bunch of legal battles with DC, the government, civil rights groups filing lawsuits. So that could possibly lead to a Supreme Court case. So a lot of people are questioning the seriousness of this, as they should. But you know, my thing is this whole thing with this big balls guy, it just seems real fishy. He's already kind of a trollish guy, and this happened. So you just got to kind of look at it with a little skepticism. And also, again, I think this might be a bigger play. Let me get Najee on here real quick. Najee, hop on, Najee. Brother Najee, hop on.
Hey, what's going on? So that place is maybe like less than a mile, 5 minutes away from the White House. That's a real busy intersection.
Right.
So I really don't understand how 10 people are carjacking one car. So there had to be multiple cars. That really doesn't really make sense.
Right.
A lot of times if somebody's carjacking somebody, maybe it's about 2 or 1 car. You know what I'm saying? Then they carjack the person and the other guys get in the car and pull away. So it really don't sound right. And I was in DC maybe like a few months ago. I'm in Jersey, so I go down there a lot. It's really no crime down there. So
Right.
in that area, it's not really so it does sound suspicious. If people ask the right questions, you know what I mean, the truth will start to unravel.
Exactly, man. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to make sure where that area was, because I'm like, I know that area. That area sounds familiar. If it's over there kind of by the White House, it's in the mix. Okay, listen. That's why I want to talk to my DC people. Just thinking like a carjacker. Yeah. You know how janky those streets are in that area? The streets are real weird and janky. If you're going to carjack a car, listen, carjackers, you want to get a car and have a clean getaway somewhere where you're just going to hit the freeway, you're going to hit a good lick and just get the hell up out of there. Yeah, that don't sound right. Out of all places, you're going to jack a car there with 10 niggas? Really? How 10 niggas going to jack a car in Logan Square? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. But for my folks who don't know, the streets in DC are janky. The city is laid out in a very weird way, especially in that midtown area. So the streets curve all types of weird ways. So like, then you go down one street, it's one way, and then it's weird. It's weird. Traffic is a beast even at night in DC. Traffic is a beast even at night. So yeah, that's why I'm questioning this stuff. You know, something ain't really clicking and adding up. A lot of people believe that this could definitely be a hoax. Let me get M in here. Let me get M, cigarettes, apples. Let me get cigarettes in here. What's up, brother? Unmute your mic if you can. What's up, M?
Oh, yo, Tariq. I know you was arguing with the Grok thing, right? I'm off topic, my bad.
Okay.
But you should do that with the OJ trial. And I'll land.
Oh yeah, you know what? Oh yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, I be beating up on Grok. I like arguing with Grok. Grok is good for practicing your debates. Grok is very good practice. because arguing with Grok is just like arguing with somebody from the alt-right. It's literally just like you're arguing with a white supremacist. So I like beating up on Grok. Grok is worse because Grok just be straight up lying. When Grok be lying its ass off and then start backpedaling. Oh, my bad. I got some wrong data. Grok is the worst. I like beating up on Grok though. Oh my goodness. So you got to watch out with Grok, guys. See that? Let me tell you something. All that lying and splaining Grok is doing, that's not a mistake. They program Grok to do that shit. Some of the stuff Grok be saying, that's not no mistake. These folks done sat up here and programmed Grok to sit here lying like a white supremacist, splaining, twisting facts. Who call up here? Grok is just like that. Grok is just the robot version of it. You know how these white supremacists get to splaining and then trying to run game and lying, and then when you debunk them, they get mad. I'm telling you, Grok is going to start calling everybody jigaboos pretty soon. It's going to call us all types of N-words. Grok is going to start cussing us out. Somebody put up a meme, like a racist meme. Did y'all see that the other day? Somebody put up a meme of a black woman with real weird big lips and stuff. And Grok laughed at it. Ha ha, that's a good one. Oh, whoa. Everybody was like, what the hell? I swear to God. Y'all saw that tweet? Nigga. Grok straight up laughed at a racist meme, dude. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you, Grok is going to be calling us all types of Sambos and Negroes pretty soon, man. But listen, hold on. Let me get Stalemate in here. Stalemate, hop on in, Stalemate. Stalemate, hop on in. Unmute your mic. Hey, what's up, brother? You good?
Man, it's been a long time coming.
Oh yeah. What city you in?
I'm Columbus, Ohio.
Oh
Yeah, no, I just was I forgot what I was going to say.
damn it, brother. We'll get you back. We'll get you back. When you think about it, we'll get you back. But let me finish. I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about this whole federalizing Washington, D.C. and what that whole thing is about. Because that's very interesting. Now let me say this, because this could be a play where there's a bigger thing involved and they're using anti-black hatred, because that's how they get a lot of laws and policies passed. They create it and frame it around some anti-black targeting. So with this case, with this situation of this alleged attack of this big balls guy, all of a sudden they're talking about, oh, we got to be tough on crime. Oh, look at the Negroes. Oh, these packs of black folks beating up all of these innocent white people. Oh, man, we got to federalize. Listen, that could be a con game. And I want the white people to listen here. I want y'all to listen. We're the white listeners. I want y'all to listen. This might be a finesse to start doing surveillance on your ass. See, this could be like a Trojan horse for mass surveillance expansions. See, by exploiting that fear around black crime, that could be like one of those constant surveillance in urban areas. And these are technologies that do not stay limited in black neighborhoods. You see, once implemented, these surveillance tools, people, they're going to be used against white people. Yeah. Yeah, when y'all want to start doing labor strikes and all that and have some kind of political dissent, they go, all that shit that you thought was going to be for us is going to be for your ass. You see? You better watch it. That could be justification for like martial law. See, federalizing DC under the guise of crime control, when crime is actually down for the dominant society. If it works in the capital, it'll work in other U.S. cities, including white majority
The dump could do
areas
all of that.
during any kind of declared emergency. You see? And that turns the executive branch into like a shadow dictatorship. And then that'll undermine local governments everywhere, not just in Black areas. See, if they can just take over the government and everything is basically under the thumb of the damn federal government and your local laws don't mean nothing, y'all don't want to play that game. You see? And they've always used Black crime as a cover for state expansions. You know, just like with the war on drugs, stop and frisk, you know, they initially targeted Black communities, and then it became weaponized more broadly against the entire population.
Yeah.
So every time they push something as tough on Black crime, it ends up expanding states' power over other people. That's why you see with these ICE raids. See, let me tell you something. Y'all peoples, but immigrants too, and they're getting white immigrants too. A lot of folks think, oh, they just getting Black and brown immigrants. No, they're getting some white ones too. I saw a couple of white immigrants getting hemmed up. Or almost, you weren't white enough. Oh, I didn't see a couple of them get hemmed up. They getting them. See, a lot of folks thought, okay, yeah, we're gonna co-sign them allocating all of those resources to get militarized police vehicles, upgraded weapons for the police so they can really keep the Negroes contained. Now they're using it on all of these other people. You see? You better watch what you wish for, right? And listen, there's a false sense of safety for a lot of white people in America. See, a lot of people in the dominant society, they think that this move is to protect them from crime. No. See, the long-term result is that your own rights are going to be diminished, including gun ownership, freedom of assembly and digital privacy. See, they might be trying to set a whole new precedent for federal override and local control. See, if Trump can federalize DC, he can federalize any city or state. The white majority towns too. Yeah. And then they can start squashing a whole bunch of shit. And the real targets might be the political dissidents. You know, federalizing these cities, that might be a way to suppress political opposition. And especially in cities where like there's young white liberals, progressive, a lot of these anti-government activists. And you understand, crime panic is a classic psyops, man. You know, the exaggerated focus on like a single Black on white crime. That's the whole problem reaction solution strategy. They'll engineer a problem and then provoke public outrage, and then they'll have the solution that's going to remove everybody's freedoms. You see? And also they can be doing some stuff like getting digital ID, AI, enforcement interest time. Trump might be out here pushing some mandatory biometric ID systems, AI assisted policing, real-time social monitoring, all of that stuff framed for high-risk youth, but it's adapted and applied later on for everybody, including the rural conservatives. And they always use that anti-Black fear to trick the masses. The dominant society is always being emotionally manipulated through all of that race-baiting fear. And you'll be convinced to accept policies that throw your ass under the bus too, under the same boot you cheered for when you thought it was stomping on us. So you got to be very careful of that. All right. Let's get Mr. Tequila. Everybody hop on in here. Mr. Tequila, hop on in. We got to watch. This thing is serious out here, man. Listen, you know, y'all can't travel without a real ID. You can't fly now. You got to have a real ID. You got to have a brand new ID in order to fly. You dig? You can't. You can't run up in the airport without that real ID. You got to have that or a passport.
Real shit. I'm Mr. Tequila way. But
Hey, what's up, Mr. Tequila?
hey, I just wanted to say, you know, black people, we all need to be codified when these white supremacists get up on here and they like to use the N word. Like last night, you know what I'm saying? I was hot. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get on here when these white supremacists get on here. I like to call them pedophiles, per capita predators, per capita perverts, and all that stuff. And then I wanted to get your opinion on. Did you hear about Donald Trump calling Charlemagne the God low IQ? Thank you.
Yeah. They were going back and forth. That was interesting. That's because I think something like that, right? Oh, I don't know what happened. All right, but yeah, that was I don't know the gist of that, but yeah, they were going back and forth on some bullshit. Afro, what's up, Afro?
Hey, can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you. What's up, brother?
Afro Elite.
What's going on, Tariq?
Brother, where the hell
Yeah,
are you?
man.
Brother, where are you? Are you Bikini Bottom? Where are you? What all that? Are you underwater?
Under Afro.
I'm at the airport. I work at the
Oh,
airport.
okay, there we go. All right. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I was trying to chime in real quick because the crime in the city is really not that bad this year. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on myself. Like usually it turns up in the heat out in the city. Like, but this year crime is to me is low. So I'm just trying, figure out myself what you mean with all this crime as well. Because like it is not turned up out in the city like it usually is.
Now you in DC, by the way?
Yeah, like I said, I work at the airport out here in DCA.
Oh, cool.
Like I'm from the city, got family out of the city, so like I'm telling you, crime is not as crazy as it usually is.
Right. In Circle area, that's not a place where cats gonna be hitting licks like that, are they?
It's out northwest.
Right. So that's real convenient that a group of teens would just, I don't know. It just sounds weird, dude.
Can't put nothing on these YNs though, but real talk, that's a good. What kind of teams? So I'm just trying to question all that.
Oh yeah, my man. All right, man. Thank you so much, brother. Oh, right. What is Rodrigo? What does he want?
Oh Lord, not that troll Rodrigo. Oh my God. He always be trolling our spaces. But like he said, they could use that shit to justify gentrification in DC. They could use it for a whole host of reasons, justifications for getting us out of our communities. So stay tuned, stay abreast to what's happening over there in DC. This damn troll Rodrigo, though, man, he needs to be dealt with.
What does Rodrigo want? Rodrigo, what do you want, man? Good Lord. We don't have no empanada sauce. Rodrigo, what is it, man?
I just think we have to start taking accountability for what our teens are doing, our FBA teens are doing. A little girl just got shot here in the Bronx just like a couple of months ago because a group of FBA teens were running around catching
In the
wreck.
Bronx?
We
I
have
don't
to.
believe that. Not in the Bronx.
No, it's true. It's true. A lot of the FBA teens, they don't have the proper guidance, and we need to come back to our community. The fathers need to come back home. Like, you're a father, Flex. You need to instill in the FBA community that they need to stay home with their niños and raise their children.
Right. But yeah, it was your people out there in the Bronx doing all that. It's a bunch of y'all Caribbeans.
No. It's a little different in the Bronx. You know, the Caribbean community is a working class community. Although I'm SBA, I can speak for the Caribbean community. It's a working class community. They're not here for the bullshit, the riffraff, you know?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get Average. Let me get Average in here. Average, hop on.
Hey, what? I'm sorry. First of all, man, I hope you're doing
Yes,
well.
Sir.
Secondly, this guy comes on here and it's just jarring. Tariq, we need to do something about this because what's going on. I'm just going to get up here and whine, Tariq, because I'm just mad at everybody. Oh my God.
You can mock my accent all you want.
You can mock my accent all you want.
The FBA's in danger.
Why do you sound like you got something lost in your throat? What's wrong with you? Why, Tariq? Why are you doing this every night? It's all about FBA's against everybody, Tariq. Man, stop whining.
I have watermelon
You're a
chicken
grown
and grits in my
man,
throat.
sir.
Watermelon chicken
You're
and
a
grits in my
grown
throat.
man, okay?
You're
Just take it down a notch, all right?
No,
You're going to be okay?
You're
It's
a
going
bitch.
to
You
be
can't
okay?
police the way I speak.
Who sounds like
You
one?
can't police the way I speak.
Hey, Tariq, you see how they come apart?
I
You
don't
just
sound like
do
a
a quick
monkey.
little mockery
I
of
don't
them.
sound like a monkey, though. I don't sound like an ape.
Uh-oh. You are one.
No,
You're a
one.
whining ape.
You're one.
Listen,
And
let's
you're jealous of me.
let's
You're
take it
jealous
down
of
a
me.
notch, okay,
You're
sir?
the one that's jealous
Let's
of me, sir.
together, Tariq.
Sir,
I'm so mad right now. Listen to me, Tariq. Oh my God, I'm just gonna come apart, Tariq.
I'm the one that requested up to speak to
Somebody give me some fast latte cake because I'm gonna lose it if I don't get no fast latte.
Watermelon chicken and grits and fish.
This is hilarious. I love that you come up here and you're obsessed with us and all of that. You had to go back a few months ago. You had to go back a few months ago to cite FBAs. Listen, nah, you want our help because ICE is tapping that ass. That's what's going on. You in a sanctuary city, in a sanctuary state, and still can't be helped. They still coming by and carting your mama out of here. That's why you mad.
Well, the police are still coming by.
Please, my abuela, she's only known America for the last 30 years. Don't take her, please. Tariq, help
we're
her,
getting
please.
all the benefits. We're getting all of the benefits.
Get her. Don't take her, please.
Whether you like it or not,
Mi abuela. Oh, Dios mío,
yeah.
Tariq. Please help my abuela.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on, man.
I'm down to the fish fry.
Listen, you're going to be okay, Roderick. You're going to be okay, man. You're going to be okay. All right? Why you cry? Why you cry every day on our stage? Why you come up here and cry to us? Make your own space.
Oh, yeah, because I
Make your own space and have a fiesta. Have a fiesta with all your people, and it's going to be all right, brother.
I'm
Have
gonna
you
have
a
a shindig
fiesta?
with the sisters. I'm gonna have a shindig with the FBA sisters.
See how he crying? He mad. He going off right now.
Oh Lord, my man. Thank you, Aaron. Let me deal with this.
No problem.
Oh, Rodrigo, you all right, man?
No, everything's everything. I'm don't like the fact that you guys are trying to discount my FBA lineage, but it's okay.
Well, why he got to be all types of monkeys, though? Boy, you went right to the racism, didn't you?
Oh no, he is what he is. There's a difference between an FBA upstanding gentleman and a monkey.
Yeah, we don't.
This guy's clearly a monarch.
If you're gonna pretend to be FBA, we don't call each other monkeys. We really don't.
Oh, you do. You do call each other monkeys every day.
Not.
You have Nicki Minaj. She said called Little Kim a monkey.
But yes,
you have plenty of.
She's Caribbean like you, so that's what.
I'm not Caribbean. I'm not from the Caribbean. Everybody in my family's from the Bronx and Sanford, Florida.
Puerto Rico is the Caribbean.
No one in my family's from Puerto Rico.
Yes, the way you said it, you sound like you just left Puerto Rico.
No, because I have respect, and I speak. But I respect the Spanish language. I've been around Spanish people my whole life. Being from the Bronx.
Your family, right? You've been around your family.
No. I think you got it fucked up. Because you're around all those Mexicans in LA.
Right.
So you think you're
projecting. Oh, a Latino when I hear one, and that's you, and that's okay.
I'm not a Latino though.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay. Look, I'm gonna hook you up. I got some Gloria Estefan tickets. I'm gonna sit you, and you gonna.
No. I want to go to the Stevie Wonder show in Ghana because he's still Pan-Africanist. A lot of us didn't sell out like no. A lot of us we hold on to our FBA lineage. Ciara didn't sell out. Ciara
sold out by fleeing your homeland, and Stevie Wonder don't want you up there at the concert.
Ciara just got her citizenship in Benin, so
Wonder don't want you at the concert. All that Goya is gonna mess up his sinuses. He don't need.
We're still making our Pan-Africanist rounds around the world, and you guys are going to be left in the dust.
Spanish rice on the side. Okay, let's stop.
I'm denouncing FBA, and I'm joining Tone Tits and Yvette Carnell.
No, sir. No, you're joining Tito Puente and Ricky Martin.
And Dr. Umar, because they're more so.
No, sir. You're going to stop trying to cosplay as us. Now, let me get you up out of here. All right. He's Goya-splaining. Raw TV, hop on in, brother.
Goya-splaining this.
1 2 1 2.
What's up, Raw?
He does.
Man, I'm chilling, man. I appreciate it. Congrats on everything with the films and everything that you've been doing, man. Just that remedial Dominican accent with my man Rodrigo, those pig lip tacos they be eating, man, must be getting something in his throat right there. You know what I mean? And I go get your sister and your mother and your grandmother all grand concourse. Quit talking about FBA, you horse faces. Bro, go clean up the shit from outside of your apartment building. But I want to say this, man.
Oh, Raw, what happened, brother? Raw, I don't know what happened, brother. I get you back on in a minute. I don't know what happened. You just broke up. You cut out. Let's get Space in the building. What's up, brother?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, Space, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm pretty good, man. Long time listener, man. FBA all day. I'm driving this truck, but I'm from Atlanta/Chicago. Man, why it sound like Rodrigo be calling up there naked, man? It sound like he in the bed naked calling you, man. That got to be the gayest Puerto Rican I ever heard in my life, man. But that's it, brother. I'm gonna land my plane right there, man. I'm laughing at this shit every night, man.
Oh,
love you, bro. Be safe, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I'm no longer musty. I'm no longer musty. Hey, I'm no longer musty. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty.
He's stupid. I'm no longer musty. I got my root work. Tariq is dumb for that. All right. So yeah, it might federalize DC as a result of this crime that took place against what do you call them, big balls. So I'll keep y'all updated. We'll keep y'all updated on what's happening with DC. So the next topic is African sister from Cameroon says she's annoyed how immigrants have been treating Black Americans. So let's I gotta go back. The technical difficulties.
Well, that's some interesting news that dropped today.
What's the next topic? Okay. So Uncle Phil's going to give us an update on this African sister from the Cameroon who says she's annoyed how immigrants have been
So we got this sister. She just in all the issues that's been going on for a while with the back and forth with some, I say some, African immigrants and Black Americans. So she wanted to weigh into this. And I want you to hear exactly what she says and how she tells the truth about us as Black Americans.
So this message is for my fellow Africans. Oh yeah, make una come to the front, come to the front. Come sit down well the front. So this conversation that is going on around FBA boycotting African businesses, this conversation is annoying me. It overvexes me. Especially the way Africans have responded to it. So I thought I should come in here and say, a few things, give my own 2 cents into the issue. First, I'm very disappointed to see Africans going around, instead of this being a time for them to listen and find out what this is about, they're going around insulting these people, insulting the Black Americans. I'm hearing things like, they lost and they don't have culture. Are you kidding me? Which people are lost and don't have culture? Growing up, do you want to tell me that growing up, wherever you grew up in Africa, you people were not trying to imitate Black Americans? The way they dress, their music, the way they sing, the way they dance. And then we have the audacity to sit here and say they don't have culture. When growing up, everybody wanted to be like them. Maybe it's only when we came to America that white supremacy has, brainwashed us to think that they're inferior. But no, they have culture, and their culture is actually worldwide. A lot of people steal their culture. And we say they are lost. Lost? That they don't know their history? Are you kidding me? I learned about my history from these people. I didn't know about any of the great African kingdoms. I didn't know about the greatness of our ancestors until I came here and learned from these people, from their history. I had to learn my history from them, and you have the audacity to sit here and say that, oh, they don't know their history. Do we know our history in Cameroon? Do we know our history in Africa? We learned from the history books of the white man that told us that we are lucky that they came here and saved us from ourselves. We don't even know our history. I had to learn it over here from African Americans. So please, stop throwing such insults because they're not even real. We should be grateful. We're here because of them. We're here because of all the hard work they put, all the rights that they fought for, and we're coming here today to enjoy those rights that they fought for. We even get the benefits of those rights more than they who fought for the rights. And yet we have the audacity to hold our noses and say, oh, you know, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're this or that, they're lazy, and they don't know their culture, they're lost. How dare us? How dare us? This is so annoying. In fact, when I look at, if you don't know the history, if you don't know the history of this country, please look it up. Because when I look at the history of this country, when I look at all the things that African Americans have gone through, the fact that they're still standing and they're still striving for a better country, the fact that they're still here is an absolute miracle. This is what I call the epitome of resilience. This is the epitome of resilience. They've been through so much, yet they continue to strive and to make it better. Whereas many of us in Africa have just kind of given up on progress. So just kind of, you know, thank God it's changing a little bit now in some countries, but for the most part, a lot of people in African countries and the countries have given up on progress and just, you know, bends to the will of the Western world.
Let me give her a hand clap on what she said there. Now, see, you're starting to see more and more of some of the brothers and sisters from the African continent come out and say, hey, wait a minute, man. Y'all doing too much now. Now, listen, she acknowledged that we have culture because our culture worldwide. She talked about how a lot of them imitate us, and I've seen it with my own eyes. So she's not lying about anything. She said she learned about her history when she come over here because let's think about it. You go to places like New York, one of the biggest places, they would be in NYC, Harlem, places like that. They teaching about consciousness. They discussing African history all day. They discussing history right here in America. They discussing European history. Them dudes is on a corner discussing history, right? Debating history, debating all kind of topics, you know, in the conscious community out there in New York City. You know, like that's the kind of stuff that we have always done. So for her saying, I learned more about my history coming here, that sounds about right. Because I know our people. See, what delineation has done, just listen to me. When you let people run over you, when you let people treat you any kind of way, then people are not going to respect you. You feel me? When you stand up for yourself and say, no, you're not going to treat me any kind of way. You're going to respect me. You're going to treat me right. Or we just not going to deal with each other anymore because I'm not putting up with it anymore. And you start drawing boundaries. Then people say, okay, I have to respect that person because number one, I really want access to those people. And those people saying you cannot have access to me anymore unless you have some sort of respect, unless you be reciprocal in our relationship. And yeah, we'll get along just fine. And because FBAs have, and Black Americans in particular, have done this, right? Now they are saying more things like this. They are getting on their fellow immigrants and saying, hey, don't be disrespectful to Black Americans. What y'all doing it? Y'all making it bad for us out here with this, and it's true. It's good they're speaking up because why should they be getting any kind of smoke about anything when that brother or sister had nothing to do with it? They don't even think like that. They don't even talk like that. They don't say no words about Black Americans. Why should they be lumped into that? That's why they're starting to speak up and say things like this. And that is good because they should be saying that's not us, that's them. Get them away from here. We want to unify with Black America, hey, we are part of diaspora. That's what we're trying to do over here. Okay. Anything you need, for what us here, we got you. Let's work together because we all a benefit. And that's really what Black Americans have said from the beginning. Let's just work together. Don't be against each other. But you got people that came into this country that's been anti-Black American bigots. And let me tell you something. If you have anti-Black American bigotry, it's not good for you right now. I'm telling you. If Black Americans see you with some anti-Black American bigotry, you're going to be called out. Don't be surprised if somebody call ICE on you. I'm telling you, it's that serious right now. They're not taking the bigotry anymore. Either you're going to have some unity or you're going to have to go home. That's really the only option. Unity or home. If I were you, I would choose unity. It's much easier than going home. You understand? I think that's the perfect way to deal with the diaspora. Either you want to unify or you need to go home. Period. Because it's called what it is. We don't need you here. If you're not going to unify, we don't need you here if we can't work together. No. We don't need you here. We do not need any more bigots. We got enough to deal with already. We don't need to be importing any. I've always said that it don't matter where that person comes from. If you are a bigot or a racist or whatever, we don't need you here. And if we have an inkling of you being not belong here, then we as Black Americans should be calling ICE and saying, hey, them dudes over there, go check them. Like in Black folk, well, let's go check. Maybe you okay, but somebody around you may not be. See, because we got to teach these other groups. Don't mess with us. Have some respect. And those that need to unify with us, unify. If not, hit the door. And we should never feel bad about that at this point, because we have been nice to every group. We've been so nice. We've been respectful. We've been talked down to, ran over, and everything else. Now we're saying either respect us, unify, or go home. Now, this particular sister says she's annoyed by this. She's annoyed because she shouldn't be dealing with any issues and problems because of people that she has nothing to do with causing problems. Now, remember Nadine, she's Cameroonian. This woman's Cameroonian. Seems like the Cameroonians are starting to speak out more. I've seen this one Nigerian sister I'm gonna cover on my other channel. Either I'm seeing Cameroonians and Nigerians for sure starting to speak up a little bit. West Africans, that's good. That's good. That's real. Delineation is having its perfect work. People are understanding now. Some of y'all say y'all want to get some straightening going on. Well, it seems like the straightening has worked because a lot of people starting to come out now. We got to keep on, like I said, with delineation, because we got to work on delineating communities who are not part of diaspora, doing a lot of crime and evil things, or allowing things to go on in our neighborhoods, selling paraphernalia they shouldn't be selling to facilitate drug use. We got a lot of work to do still in Black America when it comes to foreign nationals. But at least the diaspora is starting to get the message. That's beautiful. But these other groups got to get the message, I think, 100 times more about having respect for Black America, because the things that they've been doing and crimes they've been allowing to happen in our community, we got to put an end to that. But it starts for sure with delineation.
Right. That's right, Uncle Phil. So shout out to the sister from the Cameroon for telling like a TI is, and getting on her fellow African brethren and sister who have been on the internet acting that plum fool, speaking against FBA. Y'all gonna learn to stop speaking against FBA. They really are. So there's a whole boycott going on of African businesses as a result of the disrespect that we've been receiving from these African immigrants. These damn tethers that come over here to undermine us. And we're not doing it no more. So like, it's madness. And as a result, the BET Awards has been suspended. So that's the next topic. with the pen will stop. And Uncle Phil and Tariq.
Well, that's some interesting news that dropped today, ladies and gentlemen. Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards. Now, that has recently been suspended. Let's go ahead and check that out. As BET has suspended the Soul Train and Hip Hop Awards to say they aren't gone, according to BET CEO Scott Mills. Now, they say BET has a pause on two of its most iconic shows, the BET Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards. Both award shows have reportedly been suspended indefinitely, according to the network. Now, indefinitely doesn't give you a time, but indefinitely means it's suspended for sure. It said BET CEO Scott Mills confirmed the news in a statement to Billboard. Said, so for the BET Linear, we have suspended the Soul Train and Hip Hop Award shows, but we have a team that's actually thinking, the key word is thinking, about where those award shows might best live, might best live, as the media climate continues to evolve. They aren't gone. And we also still have the NAACP Image Awards and the Stella Awards. That's like gospel, okay? That's interesting. He said that. Clarifying further, he said it's less about them being no longer and more about our team having to reimagine them for this changing media landscape that we find ourselves in. So I think what we're going to see are more people taking franchises and saying this might have started, let's say, on linear television, but now I'm going to move it to another space. Do I move it to streaming or do I move it to another platform? Now, that's the CEO right there. All right. So the BET Hip Hop Awards launched in 2006, while the Soul Train Awards trace back to 1987. So for decades, both shows have celebrated artists and influential figures, contributions to the Black culture and music. The original BET Awards currently remains active. It has recently celebrated 25 years since its inception. They also announced a revamping the hit show 106 in Park and 106 in Sports. They say 106 in Sports is a collaboration with Spring Hill Entertainment, and everybody's working feverishly to get it ready to launch this fall. And so we're going to start with a weekly show at the point with lots of wonderful guests. It applies to best elements of 106 in Park structure and format to the sports world. Okay, so of course they say it add another layer to the network's evolution. Last year, Paramount Global reportedly put BET on the market with an asking price of 1.6 or 1.7 billion. And according to Variety, this exclusive offer was extended to potential buyers, including Mills, who just joined BET in 1997 and became CEO in 2021. Now, past prospective buyers included Tyler Perry and Sean Diddy Combs and Byron Allen. Okay. So, of course, we heard about that. Now, here's the thing. Now, some people was talking about, well, they're trying to take something else from us. Well, Bob Johnson sold the network back in the early 2000s to actually Viacom. And it goes back to the Essence conversation where that was sold to Time Incorporated, which are white corporations. Once you sell, that's it. You lose it. They can keep the name, but it's their stuff. Now, what we're doing here, what we do in our company, we own it, okay? We are the director. That's what we do is Black the way it is because it's head, by me here, right? And I'm a firm believer of ownership. That's why I'm like, we got to get our app to pop the way I want it to pop. And I'm having different ideas. But of course, funding is what me slow some things down at times. But we're focusing on our app, trying to get that to pop and that be the premier place where we can do everything, right? Because it's about ownership. If you don't own, you don't control. White people own BET. They can do it. I don't care what Scott Mills says. He's an employee. He don't own anything. Okay? He don't. He has to do what them white folks tell him with the BET Awards or Hip Hop Awards. If they say we want BET to shut down tomorrow, they can do it because they own it. The situation with Essence, a lot of people got upset about that. But if you don't own it, you don't control it. This is why when we have platforms, you need.
Yeah, Tom, that's exactly it. This is how people talk when they're trying to get rid of things that are Black, when other people and, the other people love the show. They call it rebooting it. But what are we doing to BET? Now, we ain't owned it in over 20 years, like you just said. So that's all Viacom that's doing that now. That's good to know they're trying to bring back 106 in Park, though. I grew up on 106 in Park. That was a good show. But yeah, we don't own it, so we don't control it, and we don't have no say in what goes on over there. It's like this show's on the Boondocks. Like, if it bleeds, it leads, no matter what media. So, but this is the result of FBA. FBA has made BET useless. It's not black entertainment television. We don't own it. We don't control it. We have no say on what goes on it. So it's been like that for over 20 years now. Since Bob Johnson, since 25 years now. What a good point, Tom.
To support those platforms. Support them. I've said many times before, if we can get our app to at least 10,000 members at $9.99 a month for memberships, right? Shoot, man, it's so many programs we can do, jobs. We can hire more people to work. We can at least get our app to that. And if we get past the 10,000, even more jobs that we can give. I want to give jobs to people to do, but we have to pay people, right? So when you have platforms that's ran by Black people, Black American people in particular, if you want to go there, you got to support that. Don't let Black people who have platforms get to the point they're frustrated and things are going on, and then now they feel like they're in a corner that they have to sell something. Essence sold half of it, and they kept it, right? Then it got to a point they just sold the other half, and that was the end of it. Okay, and they ride off to the sunset with their money. But the essence isn't the same anymore. It's not. BET. I knew BET when it was owned by Bob Johnson. It was a great network. Now, some of you who are younger, you didn't get to see BET when Bob Johnson owned it. You didn't. But BET was a great network for our community.
It was.
Black shows, Bobby Jones Gospel, Video Soul. You had what the Cedar's World back in the day. You talking about like AI? I mean, that was all the first little character, right? Cedar's World.
Yeah, I remember Cedar's World. Yeah, Tyler Perry. Yeah, I don't agree with that. He shouldn't be behind influencing these Black producers and writers, especially when he makes garbage work. And shouldn't, but he does. Said I understand that, but BET 106 Park was about teenage kids. Yeah, I was a teenager when 106 Park was on. What happens after dark, and when you have a guy like Tyler Perry, who I don't agree with, but influencing Black producers. Yeah, we on the same page, Tom. I agree with you.
And then you had BET News, and you had the Caribbean jams with Rachel and all. Like, yeah, so many different things, man, going on BET. 106 in Park, Teen Summit.
Yep.
Yeah, so many shows going on that network that was actually good and educational. The moment the white people got BET, all you saw was ratchetness.
Yep.
That's all you saw. All the good shows went away.
Yep.
Because when white folks own it, they can do whatever the hell they want. So support Black people when they own something, you enjoy it. Like I told y'all, if you enjoy our platform, whether it's African Diaspora News Channel, Emancipation Media, if you like AfroWire AI, if you like the Philip Scott Show, which is the entertainment thing we do, reviewing things and then on that, these relationships, because one, I'm a father. Two, I'm a husband of 13 years, right? And I feel I can have more to talk about in relationships in those areas. I've had a lot of experience with it. So I'm an uncle too. So yeah, I'm wading into that conversation because some of the things I hear with relationships are ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense. And then we got our podcast, we got our app, and other things that we're trying to do down the line. We're writing books. Like I said, I got my book done. I just got to wrap it up and get it out there to y'all. But when we don't hold on to the things that we create and we sell it to them, this is why these things happen. So the main story is Black American create, Black American control, and if you're going to sell it to another Black American. That's the next thing. If you just really like, hey man, I'm done, I want to get out of it.
That's a good.
Because when white folks have something, they don't sell it to us.
No, they don't.
They sell it to their people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it to a Black person that has the same vision I have. I'll sell it to them because I know they're gonna keep it going. That's the way you do it. Another Black American. Say this business is for Black Americans, and that's all who gonna own it is a Black American. And if a Black American can't get it, it's better to shut it down than to give it to somebody else that's gonna ruin it. I hear people saying they taking everything from us. They been took it from you. The moment Bob Johnson sold it, they been took it from you. You just recognize that? They talking about maybe it can go on a streaming platform because streaming is the way to go now. Network television is really getting archaic. We don't have to have BET. We can create our own. We can create our own hip hop awards if we want to. Celebrating local artists. Because to me, the local artists need to shine more than these mainstream artists anyway. I'm a firm believer. Start locally. Start local. But they can take it off with me. They can take off the whole BET because it's not Black owned. It's not. It don't have the flavor. It don't. That's white people cosplaying Black people entertainment. So yeah. They want to take BET Hip Hop Awards, take BET, take it all away. Because if you remember BET the way it was before white people owned it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of y'all do know what I'm talking about. They can cut BET off. I'm good with that at this point. We can create something new. We are Black Americans. We are the innovators. We can create a whole new network. We do not need BET. We can call it something else if we want to, and bring that same programming back. And I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, give me the membership I need on my app. I'm going to create those kind of shows that'll be on our app. You better believe that. I just need the funding, and the funding will come from the support on the app. That's where that comes from.
Time they're not working for us.
I'm that brother that's willing to do it. You understand? Because I'm a firm believer we don't need to be begging these people for nothing. We don't need to be asking them, please put on the show. No, we create our own shows. Beauty contests. We can create our own beauty contests. We can create our own singing competition. You don't need no American Idol. We can create our own stuff. We don't need them. I'm a firm believer we don't need them for nothing. We got it on our own, and we need to do that. We talking about we Black Americans, we built America. Well, we need to build our own companies, our own shows. We need to build our own towns, our own schools, our own hospitals. Well, build again. We need to stop living in the past of our ancestors talking about what they built, and we need to be.
Well, I'm not a Braun fan per se, but I'm not hating on the brother or his son. But I met the brother. It was cool. It was cooler than Kobe because Kobe was a straight a-hole. I met Kobe Bryant. But yeah, I'm not hating on LeBron or his son. But yeah, I get your point. Like these Black billionaires ain't doing nothing to help the Black community at all. Yeah, those are the same ones. All right, so now we're going to get Tariq's take on the situation. Why BET suspend the Hip Hop and Soul Train Awards. So I'm the same age as the Soul Train Awards. Yeah, it's in 1987. Yeah. So 38 years Soul Train Awards has been around.
Subscribe. Darling Radio, like and
subscribe.
All right, we're in the building, guys. We're in the building. We're in the building. We are in the building. Round of applause for you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on the tap in. We're here. I'm here. You're here. Let's get it popping. And I need everybody to give me a fly retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live right now.
Live stream out.
And before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, let me give a real quick shout out to many of the regulars that's always in here thoroughly. I see Miss Tyra. I see Aurelius. I see Hillary. I see Elijah in the building. I see Miss Beverly. I see Terry, Kel, King Troy, FBA Law. I see Natural Tura, Trinity, KK, Brother Arthur, Boss Lady, Shane, and the Tethernator. So much respect to you guys. And we will take some calls in a minute. We're just gearing everything up. Again, y'all give me some retweets and let folks know that we're live doing our thing. What I do want to talk about, the first thing, have y'all heard about what's going on with BET? BET, they came out and said that the BET Awards and the Soul Train Awards, which airs on BET, is paused right now. That's very interesting. And let me read an article discussing what they mean by it. There's a couple of different sources, but it's been suspended indefinitely. I'm gonna read from Rolling Stone. Let me do that. Let me read from Rolling Stone. It says it's less about them being no longer and more about our team having to reimagine them for this changing media landscape. The CEO of BET said. So it says, hold on. Excuse me. The future BET Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Music Awards is in limbo. In a recent interview with Billboard, BET CEO Scott Mills confirmed that the two staple award ceremonies will not return for the foreseeable future as the company works to reconfigure its place amid changes in the media and entertainment industries. Quote, so for BET Linear, we have suspended Soul Train and Hip Hop Award shows, Mills said, with BET Linear referring to the original cable network. But we have a team that's actively thinking about where those award shows might best live as the media climate continues to evolve.
Yeah, I met him. R.I.P. to him and R.I.P. to his daughter as well. But he was a complete a-hole when I met him, so the respect only goes so far. Like, he was a straight asshole. I don't know if it's because I was security or what, or I didn't like the Lakers, but dude was a complete a-hole. That's just my personal experience with him. He didn't deserve to die, though, especially the way he did in a plane crash, him and his daughter. So RIP to him. And he did do something for the black community. I'll give him that.
They aren't gone. It goes on to say the Soul Train Music Awards premiered in 1987. Viewer concerns for the fate of the show increased in 2024 when BET skipped the ceremony for the year without notice. The official social media account for Soul Train has not been active since March 2024. The BET Hip Hop Awards launched in 2006 and has consistently aired annually. So look, Now, look, the reality is this: the ratings has been super down for the BET Awards. The ratings have been trash. Family, I think last year for the BET Hip Hop Awards, I think there was like a 50% drop. It was a 50% drop. That's major. And we got to talk about the elephant in the room. What's really going on? And our good brother Star from the Star Report, he broke some stuff down too. Shout out to Star.
I am my name, by the way. I think it's autocorrect, but there's no I in my name. It's just JSSE. But I appreciate you stopping by. High time with you and your family, or with your family, or at work. Yeah, you as well. I'm going to a concert tonight, so yeah, I'm gonna have a real good time. Stay blessed, and be safe over the weekend, family. All right, thank you for stopping by, Time. Make sure y'all check out Time's channel. Time got a channel as well. All right, I'm gonna get back to this Twitter space.
The legendary DJ Star, he broke some stuff down about it. Excuse me. Listen, as we know, family, there is a foundational Black American Renaissance movement right now. The Renaissance is here.
It's here, but
people are becoming more culturally sophisticated, ladies and gentlemen. That lowbrow, minstrelly nonsense, that's not cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
It's too many of us becoming more sophisticated culturally. There's an awakening and a respect for things that we create culturally. And now, when you have that certain level of respect for who you are and who your culture is and what your culture is, you start to reject things that denigrate it. And we're seeing that now. See, a lot of people are rejecting the minstrel and inauthentic representation that BET has been ushering in. You understand? Excuse me. This renaissance that we're having right now, it emphasizes authentic portrayals of foundational Black American culture. All of the stereotypical depictions and all of that's amplified by the corporate media, that's looked down upon now. Y'all remember what was it? One of them hip hop shows or one of the BET shows, I think was it the last one? I don't know. Where they had Sexy Red and Krishan up there all in the aisles pregnant and twerking. That was rock bottom, ladies and gentlemen. When I saw just the still shots of that, I said, this is rock bottom for BET. That was so low brow. I said, do I need to make some phone calls up here and just get on people's bumper about having this type of shit? Just putting that on the airwaves like that. That was real offensive. Just have two pregnant chicks twerking. And because that's not us doing that. That's some other people. That's white corporate and endeavors behind the scenes putting that shit together. I know who works behind the scenes up at these networks. You understand? That's why when you look at the ratchet love and hip hop shows and all that is white people. You see? Those kind of moments orchestrated by these non-FBA gatekeepers and the white supremacists that degrades the cultural legacy of hip hop. And that alienates people who are getting a consciousness about themselves. Yeah, that thing didn't drop 50% for nothing. Also, let's be real. Let's really get into it. Y'all know that backlash against Fat Joe. They've been trying to wheel out Fat Joe as the host again, because remember, the BET Awards, that's a satellite for the Democrats, all right? These shows represent what the Democrats want Black society to be. A watered down minstrel show with non-FBA representation, elevate other cultures, have other cultures come in and authenticate them and legitimize them so they can go around here misrepresenting things that are supposed to be for us, like hip-hop, like Fat Joe / Latinos and Blacks created at 50-50. So yeah, they were setting him up to say that bullshit, to go out there and press that lie that our culture was somehow co-created by Puerto Ricans, which we debunked the shit out of that. But the thing is, remember, this Black American contributions are going to be acknowledged. And Fat Joe, he called out our lineage and disrespect our lineage by name when he was on what's his name show. What's the guy was on his show talking about FBAs, foundational Black Americans, bunch of broke niggas and all that stuff. Yeah, you kind of put the nail in the coffin right there. His career's been downhill ever since. See, people, y'all didn't know how to read the temperature of what's going on out here in the streets. There's a renaissance right now. Y'all better read the temperature. See, cats sit up here and lie to themselves on that FBA stuff. That's just some stuff on Twitter. No shit. You better ask Fat Joe and ask BET. Ask Washington, D.C. when we went out there by the thousands twice. You better ask our good brother Ryan Coogler, who identifies as foundational Black American and made an FBA themed movie that's the #1 movie in the damn world all this year. You better ask and read the damn room. This thing is real. Yeah? And when Fat Joe said that, not too long after, they had to announce he won't be hosting. You damn right he won't. You damn right he won't be hosting it no more. And in fact, the street said ain't no BET award, bitch. That's what the street said. Y'all think it's a game out here. Yeah? Look, a lot of foundational Black Americans felt marginalized by non-FBA hosting something and making comments like that. So yeah, the backlash was real. And don't you think that Microphone Check influence, Microphone Check, we made the greatest hip-hop documentary ever. There's no other documentary on hip-hop better than Microphone Check. You tell me what? Tell me that a documentary better than Microphone Check.
None.
As far as hip-hop. I set out to make the best documentary on hip-hop, and that's exactly what we did. Well, we shook the table with that one. We had people losing their damn minds. Calling, these people were losing their minds. You do that when something is with you. But we told the real truth, and we got the real pioneers. We got all the pioneers, all of the first to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Microphone Check. We centered the foundational Black American origins of hip hop. We highlighted the roots in Black American communities, and we dismissed and debunked all of those narratives that try to dilute that history.
Yep.
We emphasize and prove the foundational Black American origins of hip hop in every single element.
Sure did.
And that film empowered audiences to demand cultural ownership and authenticity from platforms like BET. You see that heightened awareness, that makes viewers more critical of award shows that they perceived as being commercialized, and that's really disconnected from hip hop's real roots. And that's going to contribute to the declining ratings. You see, because people want the real now. When you put out something real authentic, that's why they don't want it out, because now you can't bullshit everybody. When you put out something real and you put out the truth, You can't run game no more. That's why the corporate structure, they were hell bent against hip hop. Listen, when we put out microphone check, that's what I mean. When we put out microphone check, we got a lot of publicity, fortunately, from a lot of mainstream non-hip hop media outlets. That really took it to another place. We were plus it was the 50-year hip hop thing too. So we were really working that angle. A lot of mainstream media conglomerate stories about the 50th anniversary, but we didn't really get no love from no hip hop outlets, just like allhiphop.com, just a few hip hop outlets. Y'all notice that? People are asking, hey man, how come you ain't on such and such show? You've been on there before. Hey man, ask them. Hey, our publicity people reached out to them and asked them. And Latino program directors at these stations all around the country, gatekeeping the culture. You got these non-FBA false narratives. That's the reality. Yeah. But right now, there is a shift towards cultural sophistication. This Renaissance movement that aligns with a broader push for like cultural sophistication among Black American artists that are just misrepresenting the culture. Really encourages pride and intellectual and artistic contributions. You know, just like the Harlem Renaissance. That was a beautiful thing. In Harlem, there was a Black Renaissance in Harlem where it was a great thing to be intellectual. They had book clubs, learning and poetry, and all about being enlightened. They were promoting Black businesses. That was promoted heavy. Dressing real fly. Everybody just took pride in how fly they were. It was a beautiful thing. And that's what's going on right now with the Foundation of Black American Renaissance going on right now. People are taking pride in their lineage right now. You're respecting your lineage, and we're intelligently talking and discussing our So award show moments that prioritize spectacle minstrel nonsense over some real substance, that's not resonating with audiences no more. We got FBA artists who's out here spitting that real, like Kendrick, people like that, whose rhymes and style and his whole aesthetic right now is wrapped in the FBA Renaissance. Not Like Us was our national anthem. I mean, he took it to the Super Bowl. That brother went to the biggest stage in the world with Foundation of Black American messaging. So now, if you look at that, and you look at all the #1 movie in the country, Foundation of Black American theme, the biggest performance by hip hop artists on the Super Bowl, Foundation of Black American theme, all on the #1 documentary film, Foundation of Black American theme. You contrast that with some mushmouth cat rapping in a cipher. You don't want to see that. You understand? You don't want to see no mush mouth cat who can barely talk rapping a cipher. You don't want to hear that shit. Nobody's gonna tune into that. It's people are stepping it up now. Even the hip hop game now. I like where it's going now. The clips, beautiful album. Them brothers are spitting. So now it's about spitters now. Spitting is coming back now. Everybody has to step their lyrical game up now. That's a great thing. You see?
That is.
But the thing is with BET, they the cultural barometers are just under scrutiny. Soul Train and BT Hip Hop Awards, they used to be cultural barometers. There were a lot of classic moments on that, just among Black society. And now you look at the shows now, even the red carpet, it's some goofy stuff. They try to get some of the social media cats who are popular. That really don't work. On the last one of them award shows, they had some YouTubers and streamers and stuff like that, and that don't really translate like they think it does. It doesn't really translate on television. I think the stuff works online because a lot of people feel like it's almost a clubbish type of thing. It's like you're part of an insider group when you watch them online, even though a lot of these guys get millions of followers. It still feels like somewhat of an inside thing that you're in on. It feels like real cliquish. So I think that's kind of the appeal to it. So, but that doesn't translate on television as great. You see? And excuse me, right now there's a major intersection with a lot of broader social movements. See, this FBA Renaissance movement, it's kind of intersecting with a lot of other social concerns. People talking about DEI programs and history being rolled back. So a lot of people are looking at this pause of BET shows and seeing that it kind of coincide with suspicions of recolonizing Black culture by non-Black gatekeepers. You see, because BET, we know it ain't no FBAs running nothing up there, and a lot of this lowbrow stuff, we know that low key it's meant to denigrate Black society, and we can sense it now. We can kind of feel it. It's nothing really constructive like that. And if something is constructive, they will try to attribute it to something else or some other culture. I saw one of them shows. I don't know which one it was. I forgot. This was a few years ago. I don't know what award show it was. It was something on BET. And I think somebody got some Afro beats artist or somebody from Africa, somebody got an award. And then their mama came on the stage. The mother came up there, and she was on some. Yes, everything started from Africa first. Well, you are African first. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I forgot who the artist was, but some of y'all might remind me. But little stuff like that, it's like, okay. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. So it's a whole new day. It's a whole new day right now. The Renaissance movement is real. This movement has contributed to the pausing, quote, suspension of the BET Soul Train and Hip Hop Awards by really amplifying demands for authentic representation and cultural ownership and accountability in Black media, because now you got a lot of independent Black media and Black voices out here that's not going to rely on the legacy media. You're just not going to accept everything they give you. We have us out here now. We have other people right now letting you know what's going on in real time.
Okay, well,
we have documentaries like Microphone Check, and we have critiques of cultural driven narratives, and that movement that has shifted audience expectations. That's why them ratings are in a tank right now. The Renaissance is real, ladies and gentlemen. So let's hop on. Let me get some people in here because I ain't gonna be on too long. Let's see, Dark Pope. Dark Pope, hop on in. What's up, Cyber Regina? I see you, dear. Cousin Jerry, I see you. Brother McCall, I see you. Dark Pope, what's up, brother?
Yeah, man, Tariq, what's up?
I'm good, Dark Pope. How are you, brother? Dark Pope, I'm here, brother. What's up? Oh, Dark Pope, you all right, brother?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. What's going on with you?
Oh yeah, man. I just wanted to just speak on Shudor Sanders, man. He's gonna be performing well tonight. So the haters are just gonna keep on hating, but he will do his best, tonight. Yeah, that's what I just came here to just say. Sure, man.
Did the game was the game tonight, or did they play a game already, or are they playing the game later on?
They're playing later on, so basically it will be tonight for you guys, 1 a.m. So that will be around 8 Eastern.
Got it, man. Thank you so much. Who are they playing? I got to look it up because I've been wondering when they're going to start playing. Who are they going to play? Any football fans in here? Who are they playing tonight? Let me get Boss in here. Boss, hopefully Boss knows what's up. Brother Boss, hop on, Boss. Brother
Mr.
Boss.
Nasheed.
Hey, what's up, Boss?
What's going on, sir? This is Crown from DC. I've been trying to get Star to come out to the rally, but he wasn't able to make it. I think the interview with him would be awesome between you two. He's always stood 10 toes down when it comes to holding down the culture, FBA, and he's always had. He's never been one to hold his tongue when it came to Fat Joe. So I appreciate what he said.
Yeah. He was the first one to call him out. That's the first person I heard call out Fat Joe.
For years, he's been doing it, and I'm a supporter of his. Always call and speak highly of FBA. FBJ is in the room; he understands where I'm coming from. But to land my plane, I think that we'll get reparations under Trump. Screw the Democrats. I think that once we write our own reparations package, once we write our own protection law specifically for us, we can eliminate the co-opting. We don't have to worry about that. Perpetual untaxed payments for us specifically, along with resources and things of that nature. So I do think that once we push that narrative to Trump, I think we can for sure get that from Trump, not the Democrats. I don't care nothing about them. So FBA all day, DC, we here.
My man, much respect to you. But yeah, shout out to Brother Star. Star always keeps it 100. Yeah, Star called out Fat Joe for years. He's the first person I heard call out Fat Joe. Let me tell you something. Star, I've been saying they I don't know why they haven't done a documentary on Star. DJ Star, man, Star. Hip hop radio that we see now, that came from him. Y'all know that? Hip hop radio as we know it right now, that real authentic urban, just that in your face, that came from Star.
Yeah.
That came from him.
I'm subscribed to it.
He pioneered that whole shock jock style in urban radio. Star was one of the first people who didn't pander to the artist as a DJ. Back in the day, the DJ was basically like a promotional, de facto promotional guy for the rappers. So when they would come into the radio and do an interview, get a whole bunch of softball questions from the DJ. So when you made this song, who's the producers on the record? And what's your favorite song on your album? And are you going to collaborate with Snoop Dogg in the future? Are you going to do some things with Jay-Z? It was a lot of real softball stuff. The DJ for the artists, your album is trash. He was the first person to keep it 100 with people. He didn't really kiss up to the artists like that. He came in and asked them some real shit. He said, "Hey man, your first album was good, but your second album was trash. Why was your second album trash?" So he would say what people were thinking. So that blew everybody away. So he flipped the whole script on host etiquette to a certain degree. He embraced being an objective hater. Yeah. So the stars that's a legendary cat, man, and even the way those dudes who do radio and then do YouTubes and stuff like that go from radio. He was doing that shit first. He was going from radio and doing YouTube broadcasts like that. Early 2000s. So the cat, he's a legend with it. For real, you got to give that brother his flowers. I like giving people credit where credit is due, because the industry, they try to get funny style and act like certain people didn't change the game and don't want to give people their flowers. Brother Michael, hop on in, sir.
Yo, Flex, you're the chosen one. It was written. You ever thought about putting together FBA musical awards? Get you another building, get some trophies started up.
Hey, man, a lot of people have been asking about that. That might be something that we have to do. Because it's needed. It's needed. And I got to start thinking into that. I got to really flowers, not just music, but just culturally. We got to give them their flowers so they won't be erased. So great idea, man. I got to look more into that. Yes, indeed. Let's get Brock in the building. Mr. Brock. Excuse me. Mr. Brock, hop on in, sir. All right, Brock. While we're waiting on Brock, let's get the Dreamer with the Dream Sketcher. The Dream Sketcher. Hop on in, Dream.
Hey, what's up, Flex?
I'm good, man.
Two things, man, real quick. You brought up about Star, man. You brought me back to the 90s when he was with Buck Wild. Yeah, he always kept it P.
Oh yeah.
Even back then, it was like, I don't know if he was before Wendy Williams, but it was like, he kind of had that different perspective, and he kind of made you think like, well, this is not no, this is not no real, music. Like, we got to be critical with this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't just take.
The thing too. I mean, because they at the studio, or at the radio station, just gonna kiss up to him. Like, no, man, if your shit is trash, you get such and such put out a horrible album, and I don't give.
Yeah.
And he would call out the payola at the radio station. Like, I don't give a damn who's paying who. This shit is.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care whether you was black, Latino, whatever you identified as. He didn't care.
Right.
But the other thing I was gonna bring up, Flex, real quick, and I'm gonna podcast with Jadakiss.
Yeah.
Now, and so I noticed they had a snippet of a show that he recently did where he brought up the BET Awards, and he's talking like, "Oh, I had to step away." He's not really admitting to what you're talking about. Like, he's kind of like trying to throw it under a rug and make it seem like it's something else as to why he left.
Yeah, I saw that. They were trying to make it like, well, the budget was. We know what it is. Oh yeah, man, we know what it is.
Fresh out here at the club. That's because I got my Root Work deodorant on. Y'all need to get with the program and get your Root Work at rootworkstyle.com.
get you some root work. Yeah, so Tariq pretty much summed it up. The BET Awards have been suspended. Fat Joe is still in denial why he is not hosting it, and it's not black owned. It hasn't been black owned in over 20 years, 25 years to be exact. So there's that. So now we're down to the last few topics, and that is, do black people hate black people the most? And white Simi Valley mob attacks black teen, and if we have time, troll theory. All right, so the dopest MC coming to the stage, K Reno, is going to be in the house tonight. He's coming to Denver. Me and Lady Cherry gonna get tickets to go see him. So yeah, this will be the third time I've seen him in Denver. So he's gonna give us a update on, do black people hate black people the most? Internalized self-hatred is a mug.
Man, it's your big brother K Reno. It's a term that I've used a couple of times on this channel, and it's a term that I'm sure most family structure, whether they were two-parent, particularly, but even one parent, you heard this term. What happens in this house stays in this house. Keep what goes on in this house under this roof only. And there are other variations of the same statement. The more I watch us as black people and how we respond to things that other black people do, the more it begs the question in my mind, do black people actually, we know we live under white supremacist umbrella. This country was founded on their premises. No denying that. Anybody who denies that or tries to dispute that of the structure. But what has happened to us is that now every little thing that we do that's out of pocket, it gets blown up 20,000 fold initially by American media, but then once American media throws the alley-oop, us as black people, we catch it and windmill it and dump that thing in. And while I do believe that that is by design as well, because the media machine is the one who initially puts whatever big story that happens, they're the one who put it out. Once it rains down onto us, we scramble like ants in an attempt to now judge, belittle, laugh at, make mockery, and make all different types of statements, condemn, cancel, anything, any other term you can apply to our own people. And we always do it from a angle as if we ourselves as individuals are flawless, as if we as individuals have not committed any wrong acts in our life, and we are ready to throw each other to the wolves, throw each other to the lions, throw each other in the crocodile pit the first time a black person gets out of pocket. Now, I always have to say this when I make videos like this. Don't ever think that I'm condoning any messed up thing that we may do. Somebody black goes out and commits a murder. Somebody black performs an act of sexual assault or some crap like that, or somebody stealing, whatever it is. I'm not condoning any of that. I'm saying that we seem to be the only race who is on autopilot when it comes to getting out there and exposing and talking bad about our dirty laundry. We have no problem putting it out. We benefit from it in a lot of cases. And now in this social media era, with social media and the podcast and whatever other means that this information gets put out, you don't see a lot of white people doing whole shows about this. You don't see a lot of Asian people or Latino people doing whole shows about what we have going on in our community. They don't even do it a lot within their own communities. We are the dominant presence as it relates to exposing each other's whatever. And some of it is for to build up your platform. Some of it is for clicks and views. But I think that a lot of it is rooted in just a self-hate, which that self-hate is actually hate for your brother and your sister, especially in cases where we see somebody in a position where they come across their downfall, like somebody who was on top and all of a sudden they gone. They that because of something that they may have done, and now they have went from the mountaintop all the way down into the valley. And we, as Black people, in a lot of cases, we celebrate it. Ha ha, that's what he get. Ha ha, that's what she get. Ha, shouldn't have did this. Shouldn't have been doing this with that one. That's what you get. Ha ha, remember what you said. Remember this quote you said. Let's pull up this quote you said. That's what you get. And while I understand in some cases where you can look at some of the sellouts among us, because there are sellouts among us, I can understand where that comes from in certain situations, because if you have an individual who has never shown nothing but hate towards his own people, then when they got successful, then they really seem to turn their back on Black people. Then it's human nature to a degree that if or when that person falls, everybody who believes that they got boo-booed on are gonna be like, ha ha, now look at you now, look at you. Now, I understand that. But even so, I just wish that was what some people think. Hey, well, man, hey, they acted a fool outwardly. They were on these different news channels and these shows just hamming it up, So yeah, so they get it. They did it. They did it in public, so they get it in public. I get that. But there are so many other cases as well where we just need to just be quiet and address this in-house, because it's counterproductive to our rise. And so many people, Black people, will say, look, man, we got to unify. We need to rise up as a people. We need to rise up as a people and unify. But it's such a counterproductive act to every time one of us gets jammed up, or one of us, even when they out of pocket, to just celebrate it and glorify it, or throw swords at that person, when they down. And I hope y'all understand the place I'm coming from. I don't want y'all to think for 1 minute I'm coming from a place of defending, any sellouts. But I'm talking about regular Black people who just make a mistake. A 17-year-old kid who did something out of pocket. The 28-year-old woman who messed up and did something out of pocket, or whatever it is, we got to factor in all of the root causes, whether it be mental illness, whether it be circumstances based on the environment you came up in. All of these different things got to be factored in, whether just plain out, we factor in all these things, and then we rally as people in the community and say, all right, well, let's fix these problems. Easier said than done. But we celebrate each other's instead of the one that's in the mirror that looks just like us. All right, man, it's your big brother K. Reno. I'll catch y'all later on tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah. Big brother K. Shout out to Big Brother K. Like I said, he's going to be in town tonight. Legendary Houston rapper. We actually one of the greatest, if not the greatest, MCs of all time. Like I said, it's going to be the third time I've seen him. I seen him first time in 2019. He came up to Westminster. Then in 2023, when I was running for mayor, I seen him at Jumbo's in Lakewood. And tonight, he's going to be at Hangover Bar on the west side of Denver. So, yeah. It's going to be a dope-ass show. I'm so excited. But, yeah, what he said, do we hate each other the most? Like, yeah, I think we do. Like, it's really bad. The internalized self-hatred is really bad within our community. And we, like you said, we celebrate our downfall. Like, if a black celebrity takes a fall, or somebody that we know in the community takes a fall, we celebrate the downfall instead of, empathizing and sympathizing with what the person is going through. So yeah, it's real. It's gonna take a while to get this chain off our brains, as Shabaka would always say, or always says. I'm surprised Shabaka's not joining us this morning. They must be out and about for Grand Rising with Shabaka in the chase. All right, so we down to the last topic of the morning, Black family, and that is what happened in California. White Simi Valley mob attacks a black teen. So Professor Black Truth gonna give us an update on that.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the Professor, and this is the Moment of Truth. A crime report. Simi Valley, California, Saturday, August 2nd, 2025, 12:45 a.m. By now, I'm sure that many of you have heard about the brutal assault that took place where a gang of bigots attacked some passerby simply because of their race. No, I'm not talking about the Nothing Burger in Cincinnati, which has already been revealed to be a white media fantasy with more holes than a block of Swiss cheese. I'm talking about a black child who was brutally attacked by a gang of white thugs in California. As I've already documented for you in numerous crime places all over the country, from New York to California, everywhere. And of course, as for the last 500 years, the MO for these scumbags is always the same. They only pull these stunts when they've got their victim outnumbered. Anti-black violence is a coward's game. Regal Plaza became the scene of the latest white supremacist attack against a black youth. 18-year-old Michael Robinson was enjoying a night out with friends near Regal Cinemas on Tapo Canyon Road when a group of hostile white teenagers started picking on his friend. Michael didn't know any of these troublemakers, but he said his friend had had previous issues with the white aggressors before, and that his friend tried to calm tensions, but the racist thugs attacked regardless. They punched his friend in the face before turning their attention to Robinson, yelling racial slurs at him as they attacked him. Quote, "They hit one of my friends in the face first," Robinson said. "Then they hit another. Then they rushed me, and I'm in between two cars. I managed to get out from behind the two cars, and I run into the parking lot. As I run into the parking lot, they proceed to slam me into the hood of somebody's car and jump me. Cell phone video captured by a witness showed the teen assailants repeatedly punching and kicking Robinson as they surrounded him in the parking lot. Robinson tried running away, but they followed. At one point, he tried to shield himself with a chair as the group moved in and hurled profanities at him. He asked a mall security guard for help, but said the guard refused to intervene. The attack left Robinson with cuts, bruises, and a chipped tooth. After Robinson and his mother reported the attack to police, a criminal investigation was allegedly launched, but since the assailants are white and their victim black, this immediately turned into a police cover-up. Police Chief Steve Shorts was asked whether he believed the incident was a hate crime. He decided to dodge the question and say it was merely a hate-related incident. What we're doing at this point, he said, is a comprehensive investigation. Obviously not too comprehensive, because rather than go and arrest these thugs, which is basic police procedure, they instead decided to just do nothing and simply wait until the attackers chose to turn themselves in their own good time. Police refused to charge them with felonies, instead citing them with misdemeanor battery. Now, battery is when you slap someone, and misdemeanor battery is if you poke somebody in the chest. That was neither of those things. This was a violent gang beating that took place by a white mob. Their victim didn't just leave with a couple of hurt feelings. He was seriously injured. That's assault all day, and it would be had the racial roles been reversed. And you won't be surprised to learn that neighbors say that these racist white thugs have a history of this kind of behavior. Obviously, whenever videos like this come to light, it's never the first time that they've done it. It's just the first time that they got caught. And you also won't be surprised to learn that at least one of the racist thugs involved in this attack is the son of a Simi Valley cop. So this is a cop's little miscreant doing this. Are we surprised? Seriously. When police came to the scene of the attack, the assailants were bragging about how they already know the cops, putting their arms over the cops' shoulders. So they were bragging that they were on code with the local thugs in blue, who of course were not bothered by this at all. Nobody is surprised to see the police acting like this. The white media is, of course, taking the side of the thugs in blue and their little bastards, and they're repeating the police line that this cop in particular isn't involved in the investigation, so it doesn't matter what his son did. Gee, I wonder if any of his coworkers or friends are involved. And of course, they're also defiantly telling the public that this dirty cop whose racist spawn did this, well, he's not going to be placed on leave, so don't ask. The public voiced their outrage to the Simi Valley City Council, who gave the predictable empty rhetoric about being concerned and wanting to bring the community together. Well, the best way to bring the community together would be by separating the racist, violent punks who committed this crime from the community. You had that nothing burger in Cincinnati get tons of white media attention, including the clueless Vice President J.D. Vance, and I'm convinced that J.D. stands for just dumb. He couldn't wait to be the first to side with white people in that case, who the evidence is now shown were not some hapless passerby. The white media narrative has turned out to be false. What a surprise. Though, of course, here you have a clear-cut and undeniable race attack that actually did take place, with a cop's kid being involved. And, of course, the same mouthpieces for phony outrage that we saw last week are silent now. Yeah, when reality weighs in and they can't put a lying spin on it, they always run like cockroaches. We'll continue with the moment of truth in just a moment, but first, a word from the official sponsor of Black Empowerment, Power Tools. There's no telling when something's going to come up, so make sure you carry your power tools at all times. You never know when you're going to need to bring the hammer down, or when you'll have some trash that needs to be blown away, or some obstacle that requires cutting down. Don't get caught empty-handed. Keep your hammer close by. Keep that leaf blower at the ready. And always carry your steel. Power tools. Because no matter what your day job or side hustle may be, there's no excuse for not being ready to put in some work. Now, there's one more thing that I have to mention here. I was reluctant to cover this incident in particular for this morning's crime report, and that's because of something the victim said.
And I forgive them, but there's consequences to your actions.
He said he forgives them, though he did make sure to mention that there's consequences for actions. He's young, and he may not be the most savvy, especially when it comes to expressing himself. So that being the case, I'm willing to overlook some of that, but it shouldn't have happened at all, especially not if he's got a lawyer who's supposed to be representing him. They're supposed to know better than this. I guess we should count our blessings. At least Ben Crump isn't involved, at least for now. Now, this young man did make sure to mention that there's consequences for actions, but as we already know, if you've got the complexion for the protection, which the assailants in this case do, then there are no consequences at all. This wasn't some random act of violence that took place. They didn't just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and these guys just happened to show up. This was a deliberate, intentional race attack. You had these little white racists who were carrying out some sort of earlier act of antagonism that had started at some other place. They did this because they already knew that the thugs in blue, their parents, were going to cover for them. They're just copying what their racist cop parents taught them. This is the anti-Black violent culture of the police spilling out into the streets yet again. These violent punks are allowed to go on these rampages. Hell, the police are the ones who put them up to it. It's not the first time they've done this. It's just the first time that it was caught on video. They're supposed to be getting felony charges, and they would if they were Black. In this case, it's not even because their parents are cops that they're getting these lowball charges. It's because they're white and the person they attacked is Black. That's what it actually is. And this in liberal California, mind you, the state that's so open-minded and so accepting, and yet we see things like this happen in California more than any other state. The state attorney general of California should have already stepped in to take over this case. As soon as they see the thugs in blue trying to make these felony assaults into a misdemeanor, that's when the state authority should have stepped in. But then again, when have they ever done that when some white supremacist has attacked a Black person? So this is not just a race attack. It's also yet another example of police-sponsored violence. No different than Kyle Rittenhouse. Police protect these criminals. They are the irregular forces of white supremacy. In this case, I'm willing to bet you this punk's cop father told him exactly what to do. Don't worry. You just go ahead and do that stuff, and this is going to be a freebie. Whatever it is, it's going to be a misdemeanor. It won't even go on your record. We'll make sure of that. And that's why they don't want to put felonies on these punks. Because that would make it very difficult to hire these racist creeps later on down the line, police department or sheriff's department. These anti-Black race attacks are how the dirtbag white supremacists coming up demonstrate to the older racists that they're willing to carry out race-specific violence, which is what the police's job actually is. Well, race-specific violence requires race-specific solutions, not just an anti-Black hate crime law, though that is important, but also Black residents who are ready to defend themselves against these race attacks, ready to defend themselves and their loved ones. Because when you have the police who are orchestrating and carrying out these attacks and having their little brats be the ones who they put up to it and then protecting them afterwards, these are the police carrying out terrorism against citizens. And when it comes to terrorism, you don't sit back and hope that the terrorists discover religion and decide to finally become civilized. What you do with the terrorists is you make sure that they are punished. That's the way that you not merely disincentivize them from that kind of behavior, but you also make sure to prevent it in the future. You see, these racists, they saw what happened in places like Alabama and elsewhere. Whenever there's more than one Black person there, they already know exactly what the result is. So they're carrying out these cowardly little ambushes as their racist cop parents told them to do. Because when you have the police carrying out and coordinating with that corrupt police chief called hate-related incidents, then it's up to the Black folks out there to make sure that there's some compensatory justice-related responses to go along with it. And that's this week's Friday Crime Report. Keep your eyes open and stay on alert, because there's a lot worse criminals out there than the ones the white corporate media chooses to show you. Good day, and Baker Moore, Bo McLean, Jacques Hargett, Sharice Matthews, and Elisa Boutte. Salute to them, and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
Yep, thank you, Professor Black. True, Black empowerment does exist because of you. All right, so this white mob of teens attacked this Black child. The Black young man ended up going on the news talking about he forgive. So I wouldn't be surprised if Crump was on this case already. It's usually when the family or the victim come out talking about forgive, forgive, forgive. Can we all just get along like Rodney King and Crumpus behind it, or a similar attorney? So yeah, keep an eye on that, because we can't be caping for these victims, and they're not going to acknowledge what this really is, act of racism, white supremacy, and they want justice, not forgive, forgive, forgive. All right, so the last topic, I think we was gonna have time to get to this, but it looks like we do have time to get to it, and that is the troll theory. How to properly deal with trolls. Lord knows we get a slew of trolls. I remember, what was that, 3-4 days ago? The last time we went live, we had a whole bunch of trolls in the chat. So Black Truth United is gonna give us an update on how to deal with them trolls.
Salute family and welcome back to another video I tend to completely ignore, but I decided to address them today because some of our people have trouble dealing with them or don't know how they operate and how to properly deal with them, which can be detrimental, especially in regards to your time. So before I dive into the theory that I have about trolls, I want to first explain a few things, define a few things. So bear with me for the first part. First, I want to define a troll, but not the normal usage of the term in regards to internet trolls. I want to define what a troll originally meant before the internet age. So here we are on dictionary.com, and I'll go ahead and read this for you so that we can get a better understanding of the origin of this word. Troll: to fish for or in with a moving line, either working the line up or down with a rod, as in fishing for pike, or trailing the line behind a slow moving boat. So this is a verb used to describe the fishing technique of having moving bait on an open line to attract fish. Typically, the bait is kept relatively close to the surface, and because the boat is moving, if you have a setup like this, the fishing bait also is moving as if it's a prey. Here's a better look at the old definition of trolling, and by the time we finish this, you'll realize that it's not too far off from the new definition regarding an internet troll. Words, the informal definition of troll, or polarizing messages on the internet for the purpose of cultivating animosity, upsetting others, or provoking a response. As you can see, it's very similar to the old definition of trolling, putting out bait to provoke a reaction or a response. So it's important to clarify, when I'm talking about a troll, I'm not talking about politicians, business CEOs, news reporters, or social media personalities who can be used to expose the system of white supremacy. I'm also not referring to strategic engagement for the purposes of teaching our people lessons. You all probably saw in my Righteous Black Women Against Abortion video how I set aside 2 days with the specific intent to debunk the demons, but this was for a specific purpose. Also, on occasion, it's healthy to have disagreements and discourse in good faith in order to work out specific issues and address topics in the best way possible. So again, none of these things fit into the definition of a troll or engaging with the troll. I'm talking specifically about low life, dirty, degenerate, trailer trash, white supremacist trolls, and their allies, such as anti-black Asians, anti-black Hispanics, anti-black East Indians, and all of the melanated tether class trolls who may have a similar complexion to us, but we are not the same people. I'm referring to these clowns. And let's face it, trolling is essentially tapping out. So whenever someone starts trolling you, pat yourself on the back and be happy, because it means that they can't debunk you. It means that they can't address your topic in an educated way. They're forced to try to troll their way out. And I want to say this as well. Trolls are weak, spineless individuals. They go after soft targets, people who are crippled, people who are mentally challenged, old people, very young people. And that shows just how cowardly they are. Most of the time, they're similar to the memes I shared in the Lie to Me compilation video, which if you haven't seen, you should, because it's hilarious. But don't think that these people are in any way, shape, or form your intellectual or social equivalent. Most of these people find solace in getting their trolling and jokes off online. because they know in person they don't amount to anything. And they've seen, especially recently, that they will be checked. So that leaves them with the one option they have left, to creep around like a vampire and attempt to suck the life out of others. So just keep that in mind as we go forward with this video. All right, now I'm going to play a perfect example of what a troll truly is. And while this is a skit, it's almost the closest thing imaginable to the types of people that you're dealing with when you choose to engage a troll. So before I play this clip, let me just say fair use, fair use. All right, let's go.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. This woman is an astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. Accounts that I have set up, the energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it, it'll fill you up. Shanghai sucked. Where was the Chinatown?
It's surprisingly simple to get total strangers completely furious with you.
They should get a life. When they call you a dumbass, you know you've got them. They called me a dumbass.
Yes, family, that is what you are dealing with in regards to a troll. And I want to remind you, how is this any different than the original definition of trolling? Just substitute the fish and the bait. But anyway, let's move on. So in the current system of white supremacy, if you're on social media and doing something that's empowering for codified FBA society, you're going to get the attention of trolls. In fact, if you're not getting their attention, you're probably not doing something right. This attention can vary from hate comments to pretend critiques, but it can also dive into the legal realm of cyber stalking, harassment, or even making threats. Now, depending on the gravity of the issue and the level of trolling, there may be laws in your state or jurisdiction, or even federal laws, that you can use to get the police involved. And yes, the police can easily access social media information, including key identifying details about you and the troll accounts. So a lot of people like to think that they're untouchable when it comes to trolling, and that's simply not the case. In those terms and conditions, those check boxes that you click when you create an account, within the fine print, they make sure you know that all your data is essentially open and accessible to law enforcement. It's just a matter of them applying and enforcing the law against people who are non-FBA. And sometimes people who are FBA, but those are rare exceptions. But yeah, for those who didn't know, yeah, there are limitations on quote unquote free speech. For example, you can't call in a bomb threat or yell, "I've got a gun," on the metro/subway without any repercussions. There are limits to what you can say, and legal repercussions in the legal realm of defamation, libel, slander that can seriously get to you. But that being said, most of the time it's really not worth your time or money to pursue a case unless the situation is absolutely serious. And this is partially due to the lack of cooperation from law enforcement with FBAs, but also the fact that it takes a lot of time and resources, which you may not have. Also, trying to go through platforms to get people banned or blocked is for the most part a waste of time, because trolls can create nearly infinite accounts in little to no time. I've literally had situations in which I've had to inform people that the trolls they were arguing with had accounts that were created within the past week. And it's sad to say, but most of the time these are sisters who are more emotionally invested in certain topics. And that's something that the trolls exploit. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So now we're going to get into my troll theory. But before explaining the troll theory, I want to first reference the fire triangle, which some of you know from basic first aid or safety courses that you may have taken. So the fire triangle is composed of 3 components. In the same place, be anything from wood to lighter fluid to cardboard to pretty much anything that will burn. Heat could range from an open flame to a spark, and oxygen, which by the way there are alternatives to oxygen, but oxygen is just the most common. But oxygen, generally speaking, is what's needed for a fire to continue burning. If you remove any of the 3, you no longer have a fire, because you can have oxygen all around wood or cardboard or whatever, but if there's not a sufficient amount of heat, you'll never have a fire. Also, for example, if you have a small kitchen fire, you may have wondered why people throw baking soda on the fire. And oxygen. Without that oxygen, it can't continue. Again, I'm not talking about the exceptions. Also, if you have oxygen and heat together but no fuel, for example, a tree in the middle of a desert, the fire will stop after it consumes the fuel. So this is the fire triangle. Now we're going to liken that same triangle to trolling. And this is the diagram that I came up with. So first you need a platform, preferably a larger platform. And I'm not just talking about Twitter, YouTube, etc., because all of these social media platforms rely on individual platforms to survive. For example, a larger platform would be Professor Black Truth's platform, as opposed to something as small as mine. But I still get trolls from time to time. Anyway, the next is a topic of importance. So this is something that you are invested in, either emotionally, monetarily, physically, psychologically, etc. This could range from reparations to a racialized case in which the black person is treated unfairly or not given justice. Now, the last component is attention, aka time and effort. And this is what's needed in order to complete the triangle. Your interest, you typing up 4 or 5 paragraphs to debunk someone, that's the attention. So just like in the case of the fire, in order to properly deal with trolls, you only have 3 options. 1, remove the cover, and a lot of times that's the goal of a troll. But it could also be focusing on deplatforming or legally pursuing whoever the troll is. I mentioned this earlier in regards to getting the police involved, which if you think about some of the people in the black grassroots, they've had to employ this method. Just make sure that if you do use this method, you comprehensively ban them from trolling you. Because if you don't, they'll likely just pop up on another platform in order to get that trolling out or repost content that they made about you. So that's one option, to remove their platform. The next is a topic of importance. And if you read Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's work, among many others, you'll know that a lot of times the white supremacists and their collaborators are really just deflecting and projecting different things that they have internalized. So you can use this to your advantage. Instead of addressing the topic that's important to you that may be a soft spot, you can flip the script on them and change the topic to something that they are insecure about. With white supremacists, it could be their declining birth rates. With tethers or the leeches of color, shout out to Black Alpha for that term, you could point to their failed homelands. There are a variety of things you could focus on, other than what they want you to focus on. This is almost like reverse trolling, and the best example of this that I can give is our brother Red Joker, from whom most of the memes in the black grassroots come from. He trolls the hell out of people, and instead of him having to block people, he's the one who's getting blocked because he's an expert at removing, or rather replacing, the topic of importance. But this method also requires time and effort, which a lot of us don't have. Now, lastly, the other option, which I think is the best option, is to simply remove the attention, which is the time and effort that you put into these trolls. Remember, these people are just waiting for you to respond. They've got multiple accounts and they're purposefully writing inflammatory things to get a reaction out of you. They will not stop until you remove one of the 3 sides of the triangle. A lot of them have entire setups and multiple troll accounts in order to continue trolling you. Block them and keep it pushing. Here's a message that I sent to the people who follow me on X. I said this: family with obvious liar, or do a screenshot post like this. It's not worth your time. Leave these trolls in their dirty, desperate, decrepit states. You have the other options, but the easiest one, especially when dealing with a troll that you know is a troll, not strategic engagement, not someone who's a political power player or social media influencer, but a low life, degenerate, 2 follower having troll maintaining this standard. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Tell me what you think about the theory in the comment section. And with all that being said, be one and be blessed, family. Peace.
Hold on, y'all. Shabaka called me. So I'm gonna end the show. Hold on, Shabaka. Thank y'all for tuning in to season 10, episode 38 of Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase in conjunction with the Frontline Black News. Join us tomorrow for a brand new episode of the Frontline Black News. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to all of our platforms, Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook, The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter. So peace, love, light, reparations, and separations and delineation and Black empowerment. We'll see y'all tomorrow for Frontline Black News. Shout out to Time for coming through. Shout out to Mac 285. Shout out to Twin and anybody that's gonna be tuning into the playback and anybody that was peeking but not speaking. So peace.